Welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stack, a live stream, first day of December 2020. We're closing out the year with a bang. We have with us Icanic Brands. Once again, we have Brandon Coe, the CEO. Brandon, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be back.
Brandon, so you had some tremendous news lately. You have this fantastic revenues. You achieved the EBITDA profitability just announced.
Yep.
So congratulations on that. Number one, I think the main question I have is what's driving these results, these strong results for Icanic Brands right now?
Yeah. Well, yeah. First off, it was a great year for us. I think obviously to experience the revenue growth that we had, backed up by being called $560,000 plus in adjusted EBITDA. It was a huge win for our team. I think we'd be remiss to not think about everything that's going on in the world, right? In a normal year, hey, these results are fantastic, right? But think about what's going on in the world, right? COVID has affected every business. It doesn't really matter what type of service or good that you provide. Every business is getting hurt from COVID, and even in the cannabis industry specifically, unfortunately, a lot of our peers, didn't make it through, right? And so not only were we able to survive, but we were able to thrive, really growing the revenues dramatically. But I think also equally important, turning a $560,000 plus positive EBITDA was a huge win and a testament to the team.
Okay, so what are the key factors that behind this? Is it, I know you have like the kind of, you mentioned this before, the three pillar system. You have the technologies, the brands. What is driving the growth, and most importantly, is this a preview of 2021, of growth to come in 21? In other words, how much can we kind of extrapolate from here into 2021?
Yeah, 2020 was always meant as a year to kind of build our foundation, right? We firmly believe that this three pillar system that we created, right, that involves our technology and manufacturing process, our vertical integration, and our sales platform. 2020 was always about getting those pieces in place to build a solid foundation for what's to come, right? And so we look at this as really the appetizer, to be honest. And 2021 is going to be a huge year for us. It's really the main course. We're so excited, but again, none of that is able to happen unless we've properly built our three pillar system, right, with the sole focus of a superior gross margin profile. And so for us, again, focusing on getting back to basics, that appetizer course, if you will, for 2020, and then looking ahead for 2021. It's the main course, and now we've kind of can put all of our hard work into action and really kind of are excited for a huge year.
Okay. So Brandon, GE was famous, the Jack Welch formula was the Six Sigma. That was the big thing for driving that massive, corporate growth. That was the big thing. And you have this three pillar system for the for the cannabis space. So again, walk us through the three pillars, and also, I think I just realized we might have some new people here. So for anybody that's new, maybe give them an explanation of what Icanic does.
Yeah. So when we came into 2020, it was really about, how are we going to set ourselves up and how are we going to build a proper foundation, right? And so without the outlines of any sort of foundation, you're kind of left struggling. And so what we did was we really kind of looked at our business, our competitive advantages, and then kind of building a three pillar system from that to kind of guide us through, this growth that we're going to be experiencing here over the next couple of years. So the first is technology and our manufacturing process, right? And so as I mentioned previously, for us, technology is a huge component of our business. It does two main things. It increases efficiency and allows us to scale more effectively, but then it also increases our gross margins dramatically by reducing the need for human capital, right? And so as we've seen in this time of COVID, the workforce and everything going on, it kind of create chaos, to be honest, right? And so we wanted to kind of work as much as we could to kind of automate that process to ensure that we were able to scale efficiently. To that end, we partnered with some leading engineers out of Silicon Valley a couple of years ago to build kind of a one-of-a-kind pre-roll automation machine that has been in production for us in our actual manufacturing production since earlier this year. It's added tremendous value to what we do on a day-to-day basis. We're also very excited to say that our second machine is currently in production, the manufacturing process. We'll be able to bring it to our manufacturing line, call it Q1 of next year. And so that component will dramatically increase our production capacity, right? We're in a very, knock on wood, lucky position where our demand for our products is outstripping our ability to manufacture, right? And so to that end, we've decided to bring on a second machine that will be ready in Q1. But also, we're moving to a new headquarters in Northern California. It's about 20 miles from where we're currently at. Two main benefits, right? We're almost going to almost 3 times the size of our existing manufacturing facility, right? So adds tremendous capacity to what we're doing. And then it's also in a city tax-free zone, right? Which, again, unfortunately, no one likes paying taxes, and we're no different. And, making this move helps us both from an output perspective and then also a bottom line perspective.
Okay. So basically again, we have a lot of new people. So I think they really kind of need to understand. So the technology behind, which is the rolling technology for, rolling the joints, right? The Ganja Gold. Okay, so Ganja Gold is so basically right now you have what is it really like 2 main brands? You have Taylor's and Ganja Gold. Is that the 2?
Yeah, 2 main brands right now in California. Deep pipeline of acquisitions and other kind of organic brands that we're working on bringing to the market. But yeah, Ganja Gold is the category leader, one of the category leaders in the infused pre-roll space, right? And so to be a category leader in the most competitive market in all of the world is a huge win for us and something that we're very proud of. It's a premium product, premium brand, premium potency, right? So it speaks to a specific demographic of the consumer or the consumer landscape. We also created a brand called Taylor's, right? So we saw that, through all of our data and through, our sales team, 7-member team being on the ground throughout the state, we realized that the market was underserved from a standpoint of a value pre-roll that's still over-delivered in quality, right? So because of our technology, because of our vertical integration, because of our sales platform, again, our 3-pillar system, we were able to bring to market a product that fit the need of one of the largest consumer segments in the market, which is that value-oriented segment. $2.75 wholesale, 1 gram pre-roll with very good margins on top of that. So yeah, we're very excited and been very pleased. And I think most importantly, the feedback from the end consumers and the bud tenders and the buyers has been very, very positive. And so that'll be a big theme for us in 2021.
Okay, so I think the main thing, one of the pillars is the technology, the manufacturing. So essentially, Icanic has a real competitive advantage with your, the pre-roll, the manufacturing technology, right? Nobody else has this. And this essentially it allows you to have can you maybe explain to our audience, like what, really the competitive advantage you have with your, pre-roll technology and what it really means going forward? Because now you just mentioned, which is something very important. You're going to have a second machine, so essentially you can double or more the revenues.
Yeah. So it's a great point, right? So for the audience who may not kind of fully understand, they just see a product on shelves and maybe not understanding how it's fully made. But pre-rolls to date have been made in a very manual process, right? It requires a huge labor force, and if you want to double your output, you're having to double your entire team, right? And obviously, in a COVID situation, that can become very difficult, right? You're trying to adhere to the standards and the social distancing and all the components, right? Just space in general. And so, manually producing pre-rolls is a very labor-intensive, time-intensive, and costs a lot to kind of produce, right? And so what our technology does is it allows us to create a consistent product time and time again with no human error or potential for human error. it allows us to also scale efficiently and quickly without the need for a lot of human labor, right? So the ability to have a machine kind of eventually go 24/7 with a minimal workforce is a huge advantage, right? Now you throw in the idea of bringing on a second machine, and to your point, it doubles capacity overnight, right? But again, we're only operating on kind of one production shift, right? We're doing 8 hours a day in Oakland in our kind of 2,700 square foot facility. And so you add on a 3 times the size of square foot facility, you add on a second machine, which should double capacity out of the gate. And then you look at adding on a second shift for both machines and eventually a third shift. We think that, having these pieces in place, again, allows us to scale efficiently and effectively very fast.
Okay, so this is I think this is the key takeaway here from today's so basically right now Icanic is at an inflection point where you're adding the second machine.
Yep.
You're going to be increasing the shifts larger, so essentially you can take revenues up. Am I doing the math? Is it 4x because 2 machines double? I mean, or what's the math?
Yeah, I mean, you could think about it from that standpoint, right? If we are running one shift, one machine today, right? If we add on a second machine, same capacity, that doubles, right? And then we add both those machines doing second shifts, right? That's a 4x, right? And then if we're able to kind of go to a 3-shift system, 24 hours a day, again, because we don't have a huge labor force with respect to the machine, you could have dramatic growth, right? And that's why we really say 2020 was the appetizer, right? 2021 is the real main course. And again, it's one thing to say, we think that we're ready for the main course. It's another thing to have the pieces fully funded in place, ready to go. And that's why we're so excited. Okay.
This is okay. So we're gonna get into the questions in just a second.
Yep.
But I think also, one of the things, again, which is, I think people really kind of need to understand is that with this technology, the pre-roll manufacturing technology, Brian, can you explain, like right now we're seeing on all the earnings calls from all the companies in the cannabis space, the one word, well, 2 things you hear, the 2 big themes is branding, and focus on profitability, right? So so it seems like the ability to manufacture a consistent quality product is a key to brands. So maybe can you explain how your technology can help? Let's say if you do white labels, you do joint ventures, whatever deals you do, how that could, or maybe it could be of strategic interest to some of the big players in the space who are serious about building brands.
Yeah. For us, this technology is huge from the standpoint of, to your point, giving that customer the same consistent product time and time again, right? That's all that any consumer wants, right? They want to know that every time they're buying a product, they're getting that same consistency. And quite frankly, technology and automation ensures that we're giving that consumer that consistency. To your point, we've talked to a lot of the larger brands in the state or brands that want to get into the state. And again, building a huge manufacturing team to manufacture pre-rolls is a very risky, costly endeavor, right? And so a lot of these larger brands don't want it, but yet they do want to sell pre-rolls, right? And so again, if you're looking at 2 options, one is, a team of 50, 60 people, and the other is a team of 4 or 5 and technology, right? That you're going to go with that technology because you're going to get consistency, right? So it's no different. Companies are looking at kind of our white label solution, no different than we look at it ourselves, right? We want consistency and we want it at a good price, right? And so we're taking that same model and now looking at how do we expand this technology? How do we leverage this technology to work with, some of the larger brands who want to get into this space in pre-rolls and or who are having issues today just keeping up with their own demand.
So it seems to me that essentially your technology is the answer to a lot of the challenges that the companies have in the space if they want to be in the pre-roll space.
Yeah. Yeah. The pre-roll market in 2019 was only 9% of the total addressable market in the state. Now, if we've seen anything from, let's take cigarettes, right? No one rolls their own cigarettes today. Now, back when cigarettes first started going, everyone rolled it. But as technology improved, right, and you were able to get that kind of consistent product, right, that kind of saved you time, everyone went to, effectively a rolled cigarette. Now, the cannabis space is much tougher to kind of replicate, right? There's a lot of things that go into a pre-roll, whether it be the consistency of the flower that's changing on a daily basis, whether it be, the cones that are, thin would be generous. So, for us, it was really tough to find a solution. And that's why we honestly, partnered and created our own, right? We couldn't find a technology solution that delivered a quality product that the consumer would appreciate. But we do think that as we put our products into the market and as pre-rolls become more and more available, that 10% number is going to grow dramatically. And so we're excited to be at kind of that forefront of that growth heading into kind of next year.
So, also another point, and going to the questions right after this, is that, really I think one of the things that, I think a lot of people do want to have the pre-roll product, right? They want to smoke the cannabis. Mm-hmm. The problem has been that the existing pre-rolls the quality wasn't there. They weren't able to get a consistent quality product or whatever it is, or the cost of it. And this essentially, solves that problem.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that without technology and without kind of this automation and, without really our kind of 3-pillar system, right? For a lot of companies, it's not very profitable to do pre-rolls, right? We've been able to kind of flip the script, but it's really based on our 3-pillar system that we're able to actually make products at a high gross margin and deliver those to the consumer, right? And so, we're just seeing something where, again, without the technology, without the vertical integration, without the sales platform, it doesn't become a profitable endeavor for businesses, right? And so that's where we think we just have such a huge strategic advantage, because we know that we can do it profitably. And that's why, honestly, not only are we going to be doing our products, but we think that we know that we're going to have a large customer base of white label customers who, effectively want our solution.
Okay. Okay. So let's jump into some questions here. Okay. So first we got Ben. Congratulations on achieving massive increases in revenues. Hammy is back. Hammy's asking, any projections for Q1 revenue, and will those be out this month?
We will be putting out our, Q1 fiscal 2020 later in December. So the financial results that we just put out, it was actually for the year end of July 31st, right? And so we'll be putting out our next quarter results very quick. And at that time, we'll look to kind of guide the market on kind of what our expectation is for this year or for this coming year. But again, we're very excited. It really, this year was really the appetizer, and it's time to bring on the main course.
Okay. Mila's asking, what do you think about the Congress hearing results on cannabis in USA? Europe is permitting usages of cannabis. What about US? Maybe you can, Brendan, maybe you can talk about like what's happening right now, in terms of legislation, US, also in Europe. I think Europe is opening up now, right?
Yeah. So, I'll speak to kind of the US opportunity, and it's providing, tremendous excitement for the space, right? Obviously with the election and the new administration, again, have been very pro cannabis in kind of the commentary, right? Obviously 4 states passed this year, rec and another medical, right? So states are toppling over very fast. The other thing we're seeing is that states are also looking for additional ways to drive revenue, right? And they're seeing their peers in states where cannabis is legalized, and they're seeing the tax base that they've kind of created. And we think that that's going to be a huge factor, right? So we think that as more and more states open up, obviously we're excited about federal legalization, right? We think it provides this tremendous opportunity, right? No other businesses right now are kind of handcuffed to the specific state that you might operate, right, and not being able to kind of cross state lines. But if you think about every other business, right, whether it's beverage or food, you're manufacturing in one place and you're shipping out across the U.S., right? And so I think it's no different than Napa Valley wine. The reason that we chose California is it's the most competitive market with the most discerning customer, and if we can own that, we know that our product and our brands will transfer very well as federal legalization becomes a reality.
Okay. And speaking of that, what are the plans for Nevada for? What's happening in Nevada with you right now and for next year?
Yeah, so we're really excited about Nevada. We acquired as part of a previous acquisition, we acquired a vertically integrated asset. So we have a manufacturing facility, we have cultivation, all on a 1.5 acre campus, I guess that you would call it, that we own outright. So we own the dirt as well. In Q1 of calendar 2021, we will be bringing our Ganja Gold products to the market. We've talked to all the big retailers. They're very excited to have this product. The feedback that we get is that there's nothing like it in the market, and we know that we'll do very well. But it also has helped. We own a brand called Just Edibles that's currently in the market in Nevada, right? And so what it's done is it's really paved the way from a sales perspective, so that as we bring to market Ganja Gold and the Tarantula, right, we'll have a lot of existing sales channels, the biggest ones in the state, to kind of slide our products right in. So, again, the path is there, the vertically integrated infrastructure is there, the sales platform's there, and it's just about bringing those Ganja Gold products to market in the first bit of 2021.
Okay, so in case people, outside of the U.S., they don't know where Nevada is. It's we're talking about Las Vegas mostly, right?
Las Vegas. That it's Vegas has opened up. Obviously it was hit hard in the early days of COVID, given the tourism, but I can tell you it's alive and well, and we're excited to bring further bring our products to the Nevada market.
And it's a huge market, right? It's becoming like a massive market. I mean, this, in the retail end of it.
Yeah, huge loyal customer base in Nevada. That's kind of full time in Nevada, and then you consider all of the tourism, right? All the conferences that will come back, right? It just presents a huge opportunity. And again, I think Nevada is the perfect market, right? People don't really have time, right? That they come there for and they don't
instant gratification. They don't want to roll a joint. They want instant gratification. They get it right there. Yeah,
exactly.
I think actually, from what what somebody was telling me, who was in the music business, I met out there, was telling me that. Do you know Wiz Khalifa?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the music, but I love this name. So he was telling me this guy had, part of his contract on tour was he had his own guy to roll the joints.
Yeah,
that was part of the thing. So imagine how much money he could have saved.
Oh, I know. We should get him real fast. We have a better solution for him.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need to roll. We're in the 21st century now.
Exactly.
Okay, so Jeremy's asking, any patents or other obstacles for competitors? What's your moat, Brandon? What is your moat?
Part of it is that this process has been very, very difficult, and a lot of people have tried to do it. But I think where we really have excelled is we've married technology with an actual leading brand in the space, right? So it's one thing to kind of create technology in a bubble and say, I hope this works, and not really iterate on it, not really kind of test it in the real world. And then it's another thing for brands to just say, I wish we had technology that, could do this. And so really, I think the secret sauce of what we've been able to do is really marry that technology with a leading brand, right? And so we're getting real-time live feedback on a daily basis to make it better, more efficient, you name it, right? And so, again, I think that's really been the secret sauce of what we've been able to do, is really kind of marrying the two to really kind of create a best-in-breed piece of technology, but then also allowing that to kind of filter down to really kind of give us a best-in-breed product.
Okay. Uh, Jordan is asking about edibles.
Yeah, so edibles in the new facility, for right now, our focus in California, at least, is pre-rolls and what we call light derivatives, right? Obviously, we have tremendous learnings now from our edibles brand in Nevada, right? If the numbers make sense, and we find that there is a huge market opportunity for us in California. The good thing is that we already have the manufacturing facility. We already have the sales team on the ground in California. So it would be an easy transition for us to bring a edible company, whether it be our own or whether it be one that we look at acquiring, to the California market. But for right now, we're kind of heads down, trying to bring the best pre-rolls to the market. But yeah, it makes a lot of sense for us in the future, given kind of this three-pillar system and how kind of mobile we could become for edibles in the state.
Okay, so we have two related questions here. I think they're related. So we have Hammy's asking, what are you projecting for revenue 2021? Okay, so for revenue. And Mila is asking, what are your projections for demand in 2021?
Yeah, so we will most likely bring our official projections to the market in kind of early 2021, right? We're going through that process right now, and kind of a lot of it is trying to measure the demand, quite frankly, right? And not many companies I've been a part of, I guess, have the problem where they have too much demand, right? And so we're really trying to meet the demand through our production capacity, and again, as evidence, getting a facility that's 3 times the size, bringing on a second machine, really trying to pump out production to kind of meet that demand curve has been, it's been a real goal of ours. And we think that, in 2021, we'll be able to have those kind of hopefully meets. But yeah, the demand, we've just been blown away with the demand for our products. And I think it speaks to, we're putting out quality premium products, right? We're doing it because we're technology based and we can deliver the same product time and time again. And quite frankly, a lot of companies aren't able to do that. So I think customers are really appreciating that consistency that they're getting time and time again.
Okay, we get a question. Do you sell your products in Canada? Oh, this is coming from Periscope, not YouTube, Periscope. Do you sell your products in Canada, and can you license the tech for generic labels, right, for white label, I guess?
Yeah, so our products aren't currently sold in Canada, right? It's just solely the California and Nevada market right now. For us to, our focus is really going to be, how do we white label for other big brands, not necessarily how do we license the technology, right? We think that it obviously provides us a tremendous competitive advantage. We have the manufacturing expertise and the technology expertise. So, if anything, the strategy will be us working with larger companies who need scale quickly in the pre-roll or infused pre-roll space, and using that as a revenue source for us. So yeah, we will be, in the first half of next year, we will be bringing online white label customers, and we'll be doing that all in-house.
Okay, Doug is asking, what sets you apart from other cannabis companies? Just machine rolled or something else?
Yeah, we'd like to say that it's really built around our 3-pillar system, right? From our experience, we are really trying to bring and really kind of combine the best of legacy cannabis and the best of kind of business expertise from outside industries, right? So we think that's really that kind of concept kind of filters down to everything that we do, right? We think that our focus on our superior gross margin, backed up by our 3-pillar system, really sets us apart. We have a tremendous team, right? Again, a lot of cannabis legacy expertise, but then also a lot of kind of traditional business expertise. And so I think all those factors really kind of set us apart. At the end of the day, you could have the pieces in place, but without execution, you're nowhere. And I think, based on the results that we've put out this morning of really growing our top line significantly, and I think almost as equally important, being able to be, 500,000 plus positive EBITDA is a testament to, not only the pieces being in place, but actually our ability to actually execute.
Okay, we got a interesting question coming from Ben. How many machines will you need when Philip Morris starts banging on the door?
Yeah, that's going to be a great problem to have, right? And as I said before, the idea of a pre-roll machine sounds easy because people point to canning and bottling, people point to cigarettes, and they think it's just a really easy process, right? But the fact is that because the inputs are so dramatically different, right? Every strain has a different consistency. Even the same strain grown at different times of the year have a different consistency, right? And so with automation, the whole goal is same input, same output. But if the inputs are constantly changing, you need a piece of technology that is flexible enough to handle those inputs and the variances in those, but still deliver the same quality output. So again, we will build machines as we have the need for our own internal use, both for our own brands and our white label businesses, both in California and as we expand. And then, the future will look pretty bright, and we'll handle the Philip Morrises accordingly as they come knocking.
Okay, so it's a very interesting. So it's like because it's essentially it's cannabis powered by technology. So just like what Tesla has done for cars, you're doing for cannabis. You're the Tesla of cannabis.
Yeah, we'd like to say that, I think that's a great point, right? But if you think about there's also a lot of electric car companies that no one knows about, right? So not only do you have to have technology that's different, like a Tesla, you also have to have a brand that's well known and recognized like Tesla, right? If you have the brand and you have the technology and the systems to back it up, then you have a winning combination. I think, to be honest, one without the other, you can't really achieve much.
Okay, we got time for a few more questions. Brandon, we're going to have you back, I think, next week for an update because I know you have a couple things happening, right?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Okay. So let's finish with a couple questions here. So we got Philip. Okay, so does your team have a formal white label product offering, or is it in the pipeline? And if so, are such contracts in process? So what is your first mover advantage?
Yeah. So,
Machine?
yeah, we'll be bringing that. We have a good pipeline of customers. Again, it's all production capacity related, right? We have over demand for our own products right now. So to take on white label customers when we can't even fulfill the massive orders that we have, isn't smart. But again, with the addition of our much larger production facility, with the addition of our second machine, and then the second shift concept, right, in Q1 of next year, we will be able to kind of bring those customers online. The reality is we're not as concerned with the first mover advantage because this is a tough thing to do, right? These customers who want pre-roll solutions can go elsewhere, right? They can work with the large labor forces and get kind of somewhat inconsistent products or pay more because of the cost of labor. So we know that, when we do turn on this switch, we'll have no shortage of folks to work with. So, we're not as concerned with the first mover advantage given our strategic advantages when it comes to technology.
Okay. Jeremy's asking, can you transport pre-rolls from California to Nevada?
Yeah, you can't. Every state is obviously different. And so that kind of presents the opportunity and the problem with the industry, right? You have to kind of, it's not the most efficient because you have to set up, a full manufacturing process, full manufacturing team and facility in every state because you can't transport. But, that is obviously one of the things that federal legalization will really enhance is the idea that you can transport eventually. And so that's where, we're just really excited. We think that there'll be huge economies of scale for us to centralize manufacturing, centralize cultivation, and then be able to distribute our products, across the U.S.
So Cassie was asking, are you planning to add a third machine in Nevada, in Las Vegas?
Yeah, so we will find a solution technology-wise, right? For Nevada, obviously, it's part of the story, part of the process, and as we kind of get scale, we'll bring that technology to Nevada in order to ensure that we're able to kind of achieve that same gross margin profile that we're after. So that'll be most likely a 2021 story.
Okay, so he's asking, is Planet 13 your client?
Yeah, so our Just Edibles products are selling in Planet 13. Obviously, they've been a great partner of ours, and someone that we'll lean on as we kind of bring our Ganja Gold products. But yeah, our Just Edibles products are being sold at Planet 13.
Okay, so here we go. This question. This is the Rockets. The Rockets taking off. This kind of summarizes ICAN right now. We got okay. So Brandon, to summarize, things are you're at an inflection point. Things are about to kick into gear. What about M&A opportunities? I think you mentioned that once before. Are you looking at any potential M&A opportunities at some point soon?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of conversations are happening right now. I think for us, looking at M&A opportunities, growth is going to come organically, but it's also going to come through acquisition, right? And so we're looking at acquisitions that make sense for us, that are accretive to the shareholders, that can really add value, right? We think that with this three-pillar system, we've been able to build a foundation that is again ripe for growth in 2021, and acquisitions are going to be a large component of that story, right? Whether it be acquisitions that better our process, better our team, better the way that we manufacture, whether it's brands out there that we can do it kind of cheaper, more efficiently. We're going to look at all opportunities really with the goal of how do we create shareholder value, right? That's really what we're trying to do, and acquisitions are going to be a big theme for us in 2021.
Okay. And let's see here. What I guess the last question, which is our favorite question at the Wall Street Reporter is, right now, where things stand today, in your opinion, top three reasons for investors to want to own ICAN.
Yeah. So again, very excited about this coming year. The first reason why you own this company, right? We are different, right? We are technology focused, technology based, which allows us to scale efficiently and more profitably than most, right? And I think as evidenced by these financial results that we just put out. I mean, not only were we able to grow, but we were able to do it efficiently and kind of ultimately drive a positive EBITDA, which is huge in this industry, right? And so part of
It's
that
a milestone. This is actually a very important milestone for ICAN.
is a huge milestone for us, right? About it, we're just getting going, right? So the appetizer tasted good, the main course should taste better. The second component is, again, we are focused on our superior gross margin profile, right? It's a very different approach than a lot of companies take. Our focus is to ensure that, again, we're growing, but also that we're growing through our superior gross margin profile that's really based on our three-pillar system, right? And then the last component is just, we think that growth is going to be huge in 2021, right? We think that it's going to come from organic growth through our existing brands, our white label business. But then we're also excited, very excited based on the conversations that we've been having around acquisitions, right? We think that it's a huge opportunity. The market is ripe for consolidation, but only doing so when it's accretive to the shareholders, when it creates value to the shareholders, because that is our big focus. So yeah, we think again, this year has been about building that foundation, and 2021 is really the year for growth.
Okay, so Brandon, so we're gonna have you back, I guess, next week, or maybe even sooner, So on that note, Brandon, I want to thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again within a week or so.
Sounds great. Yeah, looking forward to you having me back, and have a great day.
And we're looking for major news, of course.
Always.